Heavy Rain is a game about a man trying to save his son from a kidnapping. Now, it seems to be not really talked about anymore, but I thought there's a lot of cool writing and story or events that are going on in the game. The set pieces are really cool. The drama and storytelling, the character acting, admittedly amateurish, but with this first scene, Ethan's got a very good delivery where he says, "I'm a father too," and that is
Hold it, man.
honestly,
I can give you
Kino.
whatever you want. Got dope? Got cash? You want some dope? Please. Please don't kill me, man. I got children. These my girls, see? This one's Sarah. And the little one, that's Cindy. Please, man. I want to see them again. Please. Please don't shoot. I'm a father too. But I have no choice.
The way the game uses QTEs is very innovative. I wish more games would use a variety of QTEs. You've got the your traditional just hit the button at the right time. They've added hold and combination buttons where you need to hold a whole bunch of buttons at the same time. They've added dotted line ones, which is do the action slowly to not screw up. I wish there was more games that would try to have a combination of different choices for QTE buttons, because it really keeps you on your toes, because not only are you trying to recognize the right button to hit at the right time, but the right way to hit the button at the right time. And they have this way of shaking or pulsing the buttons much like a heartbeat, which indicates the character's mental state sometimes, which is super cool. And thus, you can end up in situations where the character's mental state will cause you to make more mistakes or confuse one button type for another. Uh, because the mashing buttons, if you're supposed to hit the button repeatedly, also looks like it's fastly pulsing, which could be an oversight. But there's a difference between presentation and bad game design, and this is more of like a beautiful presentation way. Uh, it allows you to have more exciting game moments where you make a mistake and your character has to pay for it. And the way the story is written, you are allowed to fail QTs and see goofy things that happen. That's probably another thing I like so much about it is there's more weight or failure to these failed QTEs. Modern day games or other games, you would mess up one QTE, screen fades to black, you failed, or uh, I mean, a lot of games don't even have fail states for QTs anymore, anyways. So, seeing something happen to your character has more impact on you, and the fact this isn't actually explained is also really cool for those moments when you do mess up in the moment and you start panicking more. There's a scene. The game has many trials as you try to get clues. He makes Ethan drive into oncoming traffic for 5 minutes, and that's a very exciting sequence. But at the end of the sequence, your car ends up flipped always, and the way it makes you feel like you the player might not have done your job properly, even if it appears you did, is exciting. And in that scene where you're hanging upside down, they they chose to keep the QTEs oriented for Ethan's point of view, but the camera is oriented normally with gravity. So Ethan's upside down, the QTEs are upside down. So you have to hit down because it looks like the arrow is pointing up, or you have to hit up because it looks like the arrow is pointing down, which is very cool. And in the moment when you're in a car that's on fire and you're trying to get your reward for screwing up or doing the trial, is very exciting. I've never seen any games do messing with the QTs like that before, and I'd like to see more games that try to do stuff like that. Another example of the funny mistakes is there's medical treatment scenes with Madison and Ethan, and essentially she is supposed to put like disinfectant on the wounds and dab and do it slowly, or put the right medical treatment on the right wound, but you could disregard all of that and do all of them wrong, and it's kind of funny showing how A, she could be super incompetent, and B, even if she screwed up and more or less tortures this poor man's burns with disinfectant and stuff like that, it doesn't affect the story, and he will still be grateful for the way she tends to his wounds, which is kind of funny knowing that I intentionally made her do these bad mistakes. Another thing that I thought was really cool was whoever designed the sets or directed the camera direction did a phenomenal job. There's a lot of really cool set pieces or buildings that you end up in that you can just see. You'll get a sense of awe as you look at them. Or there's another section in the game where uh, time essentially stops for everyone except Ethan. He's walking around in a crowd because he's got like a phobia. He's like scared of crowds because of something that happens earlier in the game. And the as he touches these frozen people, they fall over. Now, this scene isn't necessarily relevant to the story. Normally, it's not very cool. It's kind of boring. Uh, when I was playing through it this time, there's a button on the controller dedicated to switching to a different camera mode, and they had static cameras, kind of like old Resident Evils, which I it doesn't really work that well for the gameplay, but man, does the presentation of the scene look so much better. It's so cool seeing him walk and knock these people over. He's the only one moving in the scene as he's chasing the ghost of his son. And another thing related to camera direction is they have this feature where they will split the camera or the image we see. One part of the image will be you and your what's going on around you at the moment, and the other section of the screen will be dedicated to some sort of thriller aspect. Uh, for example, there's a scene with three of the main characters that you all play as. Uh, Madison's trying to help Ethan get escape from the cops. Ethan's not playable. He's not very interactive in the scene, so you try to like move a crate for him and her to jump through a window. And in the other third of the screen, you see Nam and Jaden with his cop buddy Blake as they discuss when are they gonna go through the door, breach the room, and get Ethan Mars, who is presumably a serial killer. And that is so exciting. The way it also, as the scene goes on, as you progress your puzzle, the game removes your ability to see the other people during that scene, which helps build tension and suspense of, oh shit, I need to go now. I need to get out of this room now. And that is not something I've really seen in other games ever. And I wish I'd see more of stuff like that in games now. Another thing is scenes with consequences that lead to additional scenes. Yes, you hear of modern day. Your choices have matter. Your choices matter. Um, there's a scene where you have to scrub away everything your character's touched because a murder happened, and you're trying to not get held up by the police because time matters. And you, should you screw up, you get an extra scene which kind of helps build different characters and them, the connections with each other. It seems Blake sees Scott Shelby as a mentor like figure, which is very ironic and interesting if you already understand the twist of the story. And Blake's kind of a bad cop. So when you hear him talk to Scott Shelby about essentially how Scott's off the force and whatnot, it's it's kind of interesting to see the depth of the character that Blake is, given he is very one dimensional and just angry and evil most of the time. Naman Jaden is probably my favorite character. I wish there was a sequel or a prequel with the guy. His AR glasses are so cool. He's very charismatic, so that's probably another reason why I just strongly enjoy him as a character. Some of the scenes he's in are really unique, such as one, he's entering a club as Madison's leaving, like another character you just played as is leaving. So as Jaden enters, one of those split screen moments come up where the guy that Madison just got done talking to is on screen talking to presumably the serial killer we're trying to hunt down. So as Jaden is slowly walking through the club trying to get to the room where Paco is, you're seeing him talk and essentially get murdered in front of you, but your character Jaden is unaware. So the moment you get close enough to the door and it removes that, the suspense is amped up because you're expecting, hey, we're about to run into the killer, dude. Your character is just unaware of it, which is really cool of a concept. I suppose horror movies have done that all the time, of showing something to the viewer that the characters presumably don't catch on to. And doing this in the sense of a crime thriller is like beautiful. Best kiss beautiful. Yeah, and I'm just a big fan of how gritty, edgy the game kind of is. Like running from the cops and choosing to uh, fall with a T pose from the roof in order to potentially escape and save your son. That is cool. Ethan Mars may kind of come off like a soy boy, but like I think it's really masculine and based that he's doing all this for his son to save them. And you don't really get masculine characters like that. You get, oh, we need to be better, Senator. We need to do better, Senator. And that stuff is lame and gay. Thanks for watching. Tomorrow I'll probably be streaming sometime the Voices of the Void update. I'm hoping it's good. It'll probably be low energy, good second monitor content. Yeah, I'll probably be streaming for an hour or two. And if stream or chats bussin', I'll stick around. Otherwise, I'll probably keep recording, hop in my Discord, and stop streaming at that point. Remember, subscribe, donate, or get the fuck out.